Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I tinker with throughout the day. For step-by-step detailed instructions of those tasks, you can click on the links in the comment section below. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. This video also has tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. So, thank you very much for watching. Have a 2000... This is a Chrysler 300?
99.
Oh, it's a 99
but
Chrysler.
99 2000 are the same.
300.
Yeah, 300M.
Somebody damaged the ignition system trying to take the car, so we got online and found a ignition cylinder and key to replace it. We removed the cowling. Security antenna ring was already busted off, so we're getting ready to go from there and get this thing replaced. It has security screws that go in there that you break off when you install these things, so we're going to have to get those screws out of that ignition so that we can install this one and get this car running. I think we have two options. One is to tap those security screws out of the old cylinder, or two, remove this, replace that one down there, remove this thing here, and then remove the cylinder out of this chamber and swap it onto the car, and we should be good to go. So that's what we're going to try to do first and see if we can get this car to start. So you put the key in there. Where's the key at again?
Oh, this one. See the other two vehicles.
Is this it here? Click it to the first position. Then you can pull the cable out. Push the release down, pull the cable out. Now you can come under here, push this tab in with a screwdriver or something, and pull the whole chamber out. So let me get that pushed in. Alright, so we have the cylinder out. Then we already have the security thing off. Now we're going to come over the other side and pull these two torque screws off and see if this module will come off when we pull those two torque screws off. And that looks like an E5. Okay, so I put the key cylinder in, snapped it in place. I slid the sleeve on, snapped it in place. I slid the security stuff on, put the screw in down the bottom. Now I got the key in it, and we're going to plug the security module in.
You plug it in? Listen?
No, not yet. That's just a shift lock. It shouldn't matter to get it started. Now we're going to hook up a jump box, see if it'll start, or see if we're going to have to replace this too. So maybe we don't have to replace this. We're going to find out in a minute. We put a jump box on it under the hood, stuck the key in the ignition, turned the ignition. We did not get a crank, and we got a red light up there. That's telling us we have a security breach. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can move that part of the ignition switch onto this one and try it again. I unplugged the electrical portion of the ignition switch, push the plug back there. You pull this handle forward to do the tilt steering wheel. So now I got to move this assembly a little bit out of the way to get the other screw out of there. You got an E4 here and an E4 on the top of it that you can't reach. So this is a 5/16, which is the same as an 8mm. Pull that bolt out there, and then it looks like an E4 is on top, and maybe that will move that out of the way enough to get to that switch without taking the whole steering wheel off. So let me get up here. Taking this multi-function switch out, I believe, this E4 here and the E4 on top. Hopefully that will let that thing loose. It's not all the way loose. Let me see what's holding it up. Oh, I think it is. Yes, it's loose. So now I got the other E4 there to take the electrical portion of the ignition switch out. Pull those 2 screws off. That should be lined up. It's not lined up, so I need to line this up so that it goes into that post there. Post right there. That needs to be lined up with that, which is probably going to be lined up with this here. Let me twist that with the screwdriver. Now I got that lined up with that, so this should fall right in place here. And it does. Now I'm going to put those 2 E4 screws in there to secure that and plug it back in. I'm actually going to plug it in first. It's going to be easier to plug it in before I secure it. Plug snapped all the way in. These screws snug down. They don't have to be wheel lug nut tight, just snug down. Now I'm going to put this back in position. It's got the screw slides in the top. Line that hole up and hook this over it, then put those screws in place. Actually, this doesn't have to hook on top of that to put the 2 studs in. Then we'll screw that on with the 8mm. You just got to make sure, put this in right, that you slide it forward enough to hook over the steering column thing. So that hole's lined up here, that hole's lined up there. Now I'm going to put the 2 E4 screws in. Then I'll put this over that, put that 8mm. Next, slide this wire harness in place. Then put your 8mm 5/16 screw back on there. Then we're going to hook up the jump box and try it again. If it don't crank this time, we're going to have to get this key programmed, but it should crank. Nothing's stopping it from cranking. And this is our key that came with our kit. Had orange on it. I hooked the jump box up. We got a little toot of the horn. Put the key in it. See if we get a crank this time. Nope, still didn't get a crank. We got something flashing though.
20 seconds.
Alright, we're gonna lock the car and unlock it. No, it sounds like the fan.
That's a fan.
Alright, we're gonna try this again. Lock and unlock the car.
Why would the fan come on?
We still have a no crank situation. So we're gonna investigate, see why that's going on. Sound like the climate control fan is squealing too. Oh, the resistor must be bad.
That's the third one I'm doing. So it must be some more resistor.
Oh, let me hook this cable up, see if that has anything to do with it. 1999 Chrysler 300. The starter is located on the driver's side of the engine, just below and inside of that catalytic converter right there. Come under the car, there is the oil filter, and there is the starter. And these are the bolts that mount the starter to the transmission. So that's the starter there. I'm here with a 1999 Chrysler 300. We're having a problem getting this car to crank. Somebody tried to steal it and messed up the thing that goes around the key. So we've replaced all that stuff. Either we have a bad starter solenoid, or the security system anti-theft has been activated somehow. When we come in here, stick the key in, try to start it, we get this red light come on top of the dash. Let me show you how that happens. Trying to get this vehicle to crank, we take the key, we stick it in, we get all the dash lights, and we get a solid red light up there. And when we try to crank, that red light just stays solid. So we think the security system, I just pulled the key out, is somehow activated. It will not let the car crank. If anybody's got any ideas on how to reset this security system, I would appreciate it. On a 1999 Chrysler 300, very easy. You pull this clip out a little bit with a screwdriver, work it out about halfway, and it'll pop off. Then you just wedge this bottom one off. I normally put something there and push it off. Now you take the new one and it just pushes on there real easy. So this is actually how long this takes to work. Push that on there like that, turn it around, pull it down a little bit, push it on like that, and it should hold your trunk up. Actually, you see it working. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.